Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of Medical Myths. Whoa, why is it? Can you hear that again?
Hear what?
Did it? Oh.
What?
Oh, it played my volume was weird. Okay, There we go. Like, I played the intro video again for a sec, but it didn't actually go live on that, so we're good. Anyway, apart from that little hiccup, welcome back to Medical Myths, where we talk about myths that are related to medical things, because that's what I do.
You need a better tagline.
I know. I like how awkward it is, though. It's kind of me, though.
But you have to present it with confidence. Like, you have to be like, welcome back to Medical Myths, where we talk about myths that are medical. Like, you have to say it like it's a tagline.
That's true. Fair enough. So today we are talking about things not to do with your yoni, because that's what people call it now. It is not a vagina. It is a yoni.
May I share the list that I compiled and shared with you of words that are and are not acceptable for ways to describe the vagina?
Yes, feel free.
I gotta find it.
Hold on. But in the meantime, we are talking about vaginas today and reproductive health. And I found some weird stuff. And this all started with a conversation that Rudy and I were having about vaginal steaming. And then this led to a rabbit trail of weird things that people do with their vaginas. And I just want to clarify that these things that we're showing you today are not okay. Don't do it.
Yeah, instead of listing them off, I'm just going to use them throughout the video. That's what I'll do.
All right. Sounds good.
So you'll hear some great new euphemisms for the word vagina today. If you are like me and not a smart medical person and you are here for the lulls, Chamber of Secrets is now deemed acceptable. I'm adding that to the official list. I'm expanding this official list of acceptable and unacceptable words and euphemistic phrases for the vagina. So please, throughout, keep them coming, people. I will be writing them down. And I'm definitely adding Chamber of Secrets.
So I know a lot of our audience knows who we are, but I guess we should probably do a little intro. If you have not been here before, I'm student Dr. Ben. I'm a medical student, and I come online to talk about sciencey things. And this is my guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I am Rudy B. My pronouns are they, them. And as you can see from the fact that I am wearing the shirt I fell asleep in and I have a blanket over my shoulders, I'm having a real strong ADHD day. Just haven't gotten a lot done, but this is the one thing that I've been looking forward to all day. Maybe I'll be productive afterwards. Maybe I'll take a nap. We'll see.
And if anyone is questioning our expertise on vaginas, neither one of us uses the pronouns she, her, but we both have experience with vaginas. Because I'm trans, so don't come in here and be like, well, you're a dude and Rudy is non-binary.
Yeah, I'm an assigned female at birth, non-binary person. We both have experience with the hoo-ha. So actually, it's funny. I was telling Ben this a little while ago. When we were thinking of making this stream, I was like, yeah, you need somebody on there who has experience with having a vagina, because my brain just went, why would Ben have a vagina? Like, that doesn't make sense. Ben is a manly man, no vagina here. And then my brain went, oh yeah, that's what trans means, you dumbass. So, yeah.
This is not a myth that we are talking about today, but if I saw somebody do this, we would talk about it. Are we ready to get into some weird things?
The fact that the words cola douche have been read now, and we haven't, and that's not even one of the ones we're going to talk about. Ooh, I'm trembling with anticipation at what is coming up here. Let's get into it.
All right, let's, I guess, start with maybe a more tame, or maybe we could start with the steaming, since that's kind of what led into this whole conversation. Let me do this. So this person is a nurse saying that we should be vaginal steaming. And yes, the side, I get some weird suggested videos about other vagina things now.
Oh boy.
But so we have a nurse who is in kind of a dangerous situation because this person has a lot of followers, like a lot of followers.
Oh dear.
And when you say that you're a nurse and you say that you have medical experience, people tend to believe you. People who don't know your background, they don't know what capacities that you've worked in, and they might consider you to be an authority figure. And then if you say things like this, and especially phrasing it, and I know this person is going to say things because for a lot of cultures, vaginal steaming does have a cultural significance. And this woman does bring that up. And I'm not addressing this from a cultural standpoint. That's a whole different thing. But when you tag on in the title talking about treating infections, and she talks about treating endometriosis at one point, like that is making medical claims. And people are going to use that. So I think like you have to be very careful when talking about medical issues online, and especially with these more naturopathic type things. Do you have any thoughts like before I
would agree that it makes sense that we're not really touching on any cultural significance, because lots of cultures have weird things that they do to vaginas that should probably just stop. Like there's let's not even talk about female circumcision right now. But wow, that's a big one. That's, I mean, any kind of circumcision where you are not a consenting adult when the procedure is happening is bad. But wow, that's, yeah. So, cultural significance doesn't hold a lot of weight for me. But I'll just say that.
Yeah, and I have my thoughts on that. Well, let's kind of get started. This video is 14 minutes long, so I don't think we really need to skip around too much. I did not watch the whole thing, but I kind of watched it. So she's going to teach us all how to steam our yonis to treat yeast infections and things.
We're all going to have steamy beavers.
Can anyone I don't know if the audience can even hear this.
I can't even hear it.
Oh, you can't even hear it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Maybe we'll just pull up an article then. But yeah, because if you can't hear it, we're going to pull up a steaming article then, and we'll talk about it.
So while you're doing that, I can tell the audience that how this video even came to be. Which is that I was just scrolling through Facebook, and Facebook is always recommending strange things. Well, I was scrolling through my Facebook, and I got an ad for a detox vaginal steaming kit, and I immediately screenshotted it and sent it to Ben. It was like, this is bullshit, right? Like, I don't even know what this is, but this has got to be. This is not real medical practice, right? This is bad. And then I found out that there are apparently lots of other bad things that people are doing downstairs. So,
all right. Also, we have a new term in the chat. We have. Is this an acceptable term?
Yes. Pink canoe is added.
Pink canoe. All right, so we have a do-it-yourself V-steam guide. And we have this picture of, this would be dangerous to sit on top of. I don't think we need to say too much about that. I mean, I know the picture's there just for I don't know, engagement. I guess I'll read this out for the audience. So a vaginal steam, often referred to as a V-steam, is an effective and relaxing way to promote reproductive health. The V steams are pH balanced, oh god, to help the body naturally cleanse the vaginal and uterine linings in a safe and gentle way. The warm steam and natural essential oils from the plants nourish and tonify the vaginal and uterine tissues.
You do not need to... Okay, sorry. I'll let you finish reading before I start ranting.
While improving circulation, all steams alleviate symptoms caused by or related to congestion in these tissues.
Okay. The vagina cleans itself.
Mm-hmm.
It cleans itself. Stuff comes out of it all the time. Constantly. It's never not getting rid of the stuff that's not supposed to be in there. It does that itself.
And vaginal discharge is healthy. Like, yes, most of the time. Like, unless it looks like something that shouldn't be there, like it smells funny, or like
if there's a weird texture, color, or smell, then that might be concerning about your vaginal health. But putting a bunch of steam and essential oils up there is not gonna fix that.
And I don't know what they're talking about, the pH balancing thing, because your vaginal pH is supposed. I mean, vaginal pH is very important because if you don't control your pH, you lead to and you produce your pH through lactobacillus, and if you get rid of that bacteria, then you're more susceptible to other infections. They maintain your environment, so pH is important to your vaginal health.
But trying to put a bunch of stuff in there to get rid of everything makes that stop happening.
This is a really good point. Can you have a pH in a gas considering it requires a fixed volume to calculate? That is a good point. Like, are you even... I'm going to say this. I don't think you can alter your vaginal pH with a steam. It does not make sense, especially if we're talking... A steam is water, right?
Well, and essential oils, apparently.
And essential oils, but it's like, that's not going to have... anything that's going to have a significant effect on your pH is probably too dangerous to go in your vagina in the first place. Because, all this is going to regulate, like, even if it did change your pH, like the pHs of these items, like, I hope you're not steaming with straight up lemon juice. But, like, any of these things are not really going to have a different pH. They're not, like, it's not drain cleaner and it's not lemon juice.
Right. And unless you're fucking around with the stuff in there, the pH should remain largely the same all the time. Like, it's not... Right? Like... Vagina has, presumably the vagina has a specific pH level that's good for it, so the body is already regulating that.
Yep.
Right?
And if your body is not regulating it, you have problems that you shouldn't be going to the internet for. You should be going to your gynecologist for that, because that can be a problem. So this is just unsafe.
This is coming from somebody who literally just has a vagina, and that is the extent of my knowledge. Is like, it seems like that's a thing the body would already have, because otherwise my vagina would be in constant turmoil, because so far I haven't been doing anything to fix the pH levels, and it seems to be fine 99% of the time, so I'm assuming there's already a system in place to regulate that.
It also seems like if this stuff worked, like if this stuff actually made that big of a difference, then gynecologists would already be using it. If this could be demonstrated to be effective and safe, you'd have gynecologists integrating this into their practice. Like, it's the term alternative medicine is such a weird thing, because, like, why do you need alternative medicine if, like, because once something is proven to be effective, it's no longer alternative. It's just medicine.
Right. And that's... my mom is really into alternative medicine, and I kind of always just went along with it, and I believed that it worked to a certain extent, but I also figured, even if the placebo effect is the only thing making this do anything for me, that's fine. I'm not doing anything dangerous. I'm like... I'm like having my grandmother wave magnets over me and shit like that. Like nothing, like if any, even if the only good effects I'm getting from this are placebo, fine. Like I'm not paying for it because it's being done by a family member. What it like besides being like an amount of time where I have to sit quietly, which is probably a good thing for me since I don't do that. You know, if those are the only benefits, that's probably fine. But something where you are applying hot water vapor directly to a mucus lined internal membrane, like, that's obviously dangerous. If there are only a couple of benefits from it, the things that could go wrong and probably will almost certainly outweigh them. Very obviously.
Yeah, and there are reasons too, like why I cover this content. And I had an example this week that was horrifying, because medicinal herbs are not like, it's not a benign thing all of the time. You get people that will go out and eat plants that they found outside because they were told it was a superfood. And like we actually had a guy who did this. Like he's from, and this is kind of going into cultural territory, which like, I don't want to diss anybody's culture, but it's not safe to teach people to go out and eat these plants, because what had happened with this guy is that, and this is like a little bit off the vagina topic, but just talking about alternative medicine, there's a type of plant that's grown in El Salvador that we have the same type of plant here, but they absorb different compounds from the soil here than they do in El Salvador. So he ate this plant thinking that it was the same thing that he had in El Salvador, because it was a superfood. And he ate the one here, which absorbs nitrates and oxalates into the leaves, like in high quantities. Oh. And so we got him into the hospital. He started doing better. We were thinking, okay, he's probably going to be fine, just be on dialysis long term. He died.
Oh my God.
He died this week. So it's not benign. These things are not benign. So don't self-medicate. It's incredibly dangerous.
Especially with something that isn't even medicine.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, don't self-medicate. Go see a doctor, because like you don't know what consequences it could have. Somebody lost their life because of alternative medicine.
And I'm sure it's not the only case.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure this happens frequently. So yeah, here's a good point. Avocado leaves. Yeah, the ones native to Mexico are a good spice, and others can be toxic. Yeah. Because plants, you can't regulate plants. You can't control the amount of active ingredients in the plant. You can't always control like the environment of the plant. You don't know if it's even the same subspecies of plant with the same active ingredients. So there's a reason why we make pills and we make medicine from the plant, because once we extract the compounds that are active, we can control how much you're getting and make sure that it's safe. Whereas with a plant, we can't be sure that it's safe. So like herbs are not a great way to treat things. Even if they have those properties, it's not a good idea. It's better to just take the medicine.
Yeah.
You ready to move on with the next paragraph? Or no, I think we have some more to address in this first paragraph. We address the pH.
Yeah.
So they talk about improving circulation, which, I mean, yes, heat does vasodilate. And that's fine. Like, yeah, you're going to get increased blood flow. But the assumption that congestion is the cause of a lot of these vaginal conditions is like not entirely true, and probably not true. Like, sure, if you have, like, I don't know, bad circulation in that specific area, and I don't know, you want to improve blood flow, fine. I mean, if the water's not too hot, like if you're, it's like being in a steam room, right? Like, I feel like most of the time it's probably not a problem, but I'm sure people are using it poorly a lot of the time and are getting too close to the pot, or it's just kind of useless. I mean, any thoughts on that with the circulation thing?
I don't even understand really what you would need improved circulation for. Like, in general, I guess improved circulation is a good thing, but most people aren't like, oh man, my vagina just isn't getting enough blood circulation. Like,
you know what's a really good way to improve blood circulation? Masturbating.
true.
Can I just do that and improve my blood flow? And that's also a lot more fun, probably, than a vaginal steam.
Yeah.
And probably safer too.
True that. I would rather just, yeah. Sounds less painful too. I guess it depends on what
Oh God, this next paragraph. Of course they're advertising. Of course they are.
Yeah.
So it says, V-steams can be a perfect way to show yourself some self-care and have some beneficial effects. However, if you're trying to enhance fertility, improve sexual health, balance hormones, or regulate your menstrual cycle, we would recommend visiting a member of our acupuncture team or scheduling a virtual consultation, as they will be able to create a tailored treatment plan geared towards your specific health goals. Do not see an acupuncturist if you're having health issues. And especially, like, fertility is not something that they can treat. Sexual health, balancing hormones is not something that they can treat. Regulating your menstrual cycle is not something that they can treat. So, I mean, don't do it. You're just paying money for someone who's not qualified to do anything. And you're getting a placebo.
Yeah. A very ineffective placebo, I'm sure. Oy.
Just $99.99 for each session. No refunds. Don't pass go. Yeah, this hurts to read, honestly. Like,
if it doesn't
we're only
work,
2 paragraphs in. We're not even, like, we haven't even gotten to how to do the steam yet, and we're already just...
I want to see, unless, with the herbs and plants, unless you have something specific that you know about any of these, I kind of want to skip to the directions.
Yeah, I don't know much about these plants. I mean, basil, I mean, okay, here, I can give a little bit of commentary on these plants.
My God, your coochie's going to smell like a pizza.
That's what I was thinking. So if you're going to use many plants you find on your spice rack are perfect. Yeah. So if you want your vagina,
get the seasoning.
If you want your vagina to taste like basil, if you and your partner are talking about fun things that you want to do in the bedroom and you want to taste like a pizza, you can put some basil in it.
It's like, you got to season those beef curtains.
Yeah, like, you know the beef curtains. Is that an acceptable name?
I've decided it's acceptable because it worked with the seasoning analogy.
So is this kind of like, when people, like, when chefs will like smoke like wood or an herb or something, and then you put like your food in the little glass container and you like infuse it with the smoke flavor? Is that what we're doing with our vaginas? Is that what we're doing here?
I don't know. You should ask somebody who eats pussy if they have tasted any steamed and get a flavor profile.
Yeah. Oh goodness. So we got basil, rosemary, oregano. You're making a pizza. Making a vagina pizza. And I don't know much about these other plants, but I mean, I'm sure they don't work. All right, let's do some directions. So we have directions for your DIY V-Steam. In a medium covered pot, pour 8 cups of water, preferably purified water. A good call. Maybe don't use tap water. Place 1 handful of fresh herbs or 1/4 cup dried into the water. Do not add or use essential oils as they are too strong and may burn sensitive genital tissue. So we have some sense.
A little bit of sense.
A little bit of sense that this person, I know other people are saying that you should use essential oils. One person, one person was saying to use coconut oil.
Okay, coconut oil covers many sins.
Yep.
But they're usually skin related.
Yeah, like it's good for your skin. And I want to emphasize also for the audience that the vagina and the vulva are different things. So when we're talking about the skin on the outside, that's the vulva, and you could probably use coconut oil for your skin in that area, and it probably wouldn't be a problem. It might be okay, like kind of the same as using lotion.
After you say, if it's an area that you shave. Mm-hmm. Like, if it's something that grows hair out of it, you can put stuff on it that you would put on normal parts of your skin. If it's not like I probably wouldn't use scented lotion or something, but like coconut oil, I mean, I use that like pretty much everywhere that I shave and like exfoliate, and then I look like some sort of a glowing, oily goddess. It's great.
What do you think about this one?
Tunnel of Love is acceptable, I guess.
The Gates of Love are not acceptable.
No, it just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, but yeah, you can use coconut oil like kind of like a lotion. That is acceptable. You should not be putting coconut oil inside your body cavities. I mean, you can put it in your mouth if you want, if you want to taste something that's high in saturated fat and tastes like coconut, that's fine. But like, don't put it in your vagina. It's probably a bad idea. So they said don't use essential oils. They're right. Bring water to a soft boil for 5 minutes. Okay. That's pretty hot. It's pretty hot water. I don't know if like there was one time this week I have a little handheld steamer for my clothes. And there was a time where I accidentally like put my hand too close to like where the steam comes out, and it hurt a lot. So like that's the temperature we're talking about. That's hot. Like the temperature needed to generate steam is pretty hot.
So here's a question. How is there any part of the body where using steam would be appropriate? Like it seems like the vagina is like a mucus-lined membrane organ. That seems like obviously not, but
I mean, it depends on how hot the water is. I mean, if it's not terribly hot, I guess like it's not a problem because you're just getting like, it's like being in a sauna or a steam room, and that's fine. But like, I don't know why people think it's necessary to do this weird stuff with their vaginas that you wouldn't do with other body tissues. Like you're saying, like, do you just put your mouth over like a really hot steamer? Is that how you clean your teeth? Like, I don't see people doing that. So it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So you can for steeping, but we're not just steeping the herbs. We're trying to steam the water so that it goes into your vaginal canal. So you'd still have to have it pretty hot to generate that much steam. So I don't know. It sounds kind of dangerous. It's very important here. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sure there are people who have hurt themselves doing this, and I don't want to look it up because I just don't want to think about it. I don't know the mental picture.
At least this person is saying that it's important to test the temperature of the steam before using it. If it's too hot, wait 15 seconds to test it again until it feels comfortably warm to steam with. Okay, so at least they're trying to make sure people are using a safe temperature. But I'm sure not everyone who's following this advice is actually using an appropriate temperature. So I think just DIY this kind of stuff is just not. It's kind of risky to, and also, I guess just like a little question: if someone were to hurt themselves with vaginal steaming, how responsible would these people be for that happening? So they give kind of the disclaimer that you should test it. Do they have any responsibility if someone were to use these directions incorrectly?
That's a good question. I would hope so, but I don't know.
It's a tough question, I guess.
Yeah, I just there's so many ways this could go wrong. It's
okay. So we have you pour 4 cups of the water into the bowl you've placed in your toilet. I guess they're placing it in your toilet. I've seen some people take a bucket and they'll sit on the bucket, or they'll sit on a stool with a hole in it with the bucket underneath it. I've heard people say you need to make sure you're not sitting too close to the bucket, but then other people will just sit right on top of it. So I don't know. It seems like people don't really know how far to sit away.
Medical practice has no consistent usage. Interesting. There's no procedure.
Yeah. This does sound like giving medical advice without a license. Yeah, it does. It does sound like that. So the next instruction is so again, they're having you test the heat to, so wave your hand 8 to 10 inches above the herbal water. So I guess that's the distance they're trying to keep you at, because if you're testing it 8 to 10 inches away, you're probably supposed to sit that distance away. And then remove your underwear and sit on the seat above the steaming water. Drape a large blanket or sheet around your waist down to the floor, making sure no steam escapes. Make sure you keep yourself warm. Keep something on your feet and neck. You don't want any cold to get into your body while you're trying. What?
What does that mean? What?
Do they understand that heat is a thing, but cold is not a thing? Cold is an absence of heat. You cannot get cold into your body. That's not a thing. Will it defeat
the purpose if you get cold in other parts of your body? I don't understand what this means.
I guess so, but
it'd probably be more comfortable if you were warm all over, but
But the fact that they think that cold is a thing just says that they have no idea what science is. That's the first thing you learn in general physics, is that heat is a thing and cold is not a thing. So they just discredited themselves right off the bat here with that statement. You should feel a warm rolling heat for about 10 to 12 minutes. When the steam dies down, dump the water into the toilet, starting with step 4. Begin the second dosage.
Again.
If it is cooled too much, reheat but test again before sitting over the steam. And then there's a disclaimer. Please note, this can temporarily increase menstrual flow with more dark fluids or debris. Menses may start earlier than usual due to the cleansing effect.
Oh,
God. This is if it works. This is if it has any effect on you at all. Which I would bet, I'm more willing to bet that it would do nothing than actually cause these drastic changes to happen. But you should not be doing anything on your own that's going to cause changes to your menstruation.
Yeah.
Caretaker has a good point. You could just sit naked in a sauna.
Then everything.
Where's Phoebe when we need her?
Who?
Phoebe J. Sauna Lady, I'm calling you out.
So this was the first one.
Yeah, this is the first one. So they want you to buy more herbs, right? Or they want. I bet they probably have like a kit. I know a lot of places have like a kit for vaginal steaming. And if you have to do 2 doses every time, then you get to sell more of your little kits. So of course they're going to tell you to do it more than once.
This is just...
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this article before I show you the next thing that's...
I have a question. Is the next thing worse?
Yes, this is our mild topic. This is our warm-up.
Oh, no.
This gets worse. A lot worse.
Okay, I'm ready.
And then the last thing is we'll kind of end off with something a bit more lighthearted and not dangerous, but just stupid. So, okay, so let me pull this up. But this is cringeworthy. And we're going to really look into this one because this is fun. Okay, we have Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls.
Okay.
So this is a fad that I saw on YouTube looking into this. And what this is, it is a, it's like some herbs or something in a little, it looks kind of like a round tampon. You're supposed to stick it in your yoni, because they say yoni.
The bajingo.
Yes. And it's supposed to detox. And how it detoxes, it causes, I'm just going to say this straight up. I'm not going to say it the way that they say it, because they say that it's getting rid of toxins and it's getting rid of all this stuff. It is causing your epithelium in your vagina to fall off. It's causing cell sloughing.
Oh, so like your layers of skin is falling off.
Yeah. It causes your skin to fall off. And you get videos, and I'm sorry, audience, this is going to get a little bit graphic because there are pictures. But they all go to YouTube and they brag about like the stuff that they pulled out of their vagina from these detox pearls.
Stuff's not supposed to come out of your vagina.
It's not, it's disgusting.
Stuff, is it?
So there's a similar medical practice to this that has a similar results with the colon. People would use certain bleach enemas, thinking that that would cure autism. That was marketed for a long time. And people would brag about these parasites leaving their child's body, and it was pieces of intestine that would fall off. This is the same thing that you're doing, except this isn't bleach. These are plants.
Oh my God.
But it's still the same concept. You're causing tissue to die and fall off. And we're going to look into this, but also look at the cost. You get 2 treatments.
Oh my God.
You get 2 treatments, and it is between $37 and $60. So you get this little kit. It's holistic herbal vaginal cleanse, self-love inspired womb care for every woman.
Womb care? What?
Which also, I don't even need to mention the fact here, because we're all very...
This is not the womb.
We're also very trans affirming here, and not every woman has a womb. So this is not for every woman. So y'all being transphobic up in here, but that's fine. Trans women want nothing to do with your detox pearls.
This isn't even, this is supposed to be vaginal, right? Like that has nothing to do with the womb.
It has nothing to do with I hope you're not shoving it all the way into your uterus.
Like, are you just pushing it past the cervix? What?
Yeah, so it... I mean...
God.
Yeah. Why is this scrolling weird? Oh, and we got this lady taking pictures with it. Trying to... Oh, yeah. So it's these, if you can see the little white net things, that's the Detox Pearl. I can't see the full... Here we go. Releases any emotional blockages in womb space, stopping your success.
What?
Fertility. I'm guessing that's for fertility. Declutters your womb and vagina so that energy flows freely there. Energy.
Releases thoughts that don't serve you so you can believe in yourself. The thoughts are stored in the vagina.
Yes. Also, I just noticed this is spiritual benefits. So these aren't the medical benefits. These are your spiritual benefits. Cleanses energies that don't serve you so you can feel free and light. Detoxes past lovers from the womb space to free yourself and bring in a more aligned lover or lovers. So you can purge your exes from your vagina.
All those fingers and toys and penises that have been in there, free yourself from them.
It's gonna mess with your chakras, those dang penises.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So this is what we're getting into.
This is real bad.
So you get... Okay, so it's one cleanse for $37, 2 cleanses for $60. So at least you get a little discount if you buy 2 of them. And you get 2 of these per package, because I think you're supposed to do both of them.
Oh.
Like pretty close to each other.
Oh.
It's so disturbing.
Is there more benefits?
I feel like a new woman.
Regulated and tight.
So this says no odor, no discomfort, regulated and tight. And they say, girl, let me tell you, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for creating a product for the ladies, because as we know, it's so hard to find products for the reproductive system out there. Yeah, it's hard because you don't need them. Secondly,
the only ones you need are pretty much for your menstrual cycle.
Yeah, or like sex toys, which are great. We love sex toys. But sex toys are, they're clean, they're safe, they're known to not cause problems if you use them properly. So like sex toys are okay. They're meant to go in those places. These are not those. These are not sex toys. Also, who's sterilizing these herbs?
That's true.
What, like, plants come from the ground, they have bacteria. Is that safe to put in your vagina? Probably not.
No, these don't go. No, I don't understand. And this is just a more general, like, alternative medicine thing. I don't understand how somebody can get into bathwater that turns brown and be like, oh, that must be all the gross stuff coming out of me. Or like getting like that came from somewhere and it came inside your body and you were functioning just fine with it in there. So what the hell is that? That's what you should be wondering. It's not just, ooh, bad toxins. It's like, what is that? And why did it come out of my body?
Right. So then they say, secondly, after using your pearls, I have to say, I feel like a new woman. No odor, no discomfort, regulated and shorter period, as well as a tight as yoni. They probably want to say, are they trying to say tight ass or tight, or is that, I don't know. The process was a little scary, but the results are amazing. Best pearls ever. 100% would recommend to anyone. So there's a misconception that a short period is good. And especially in the woo community, I see a lot of people like saying that periods are abnormal. And it's if you have toxins in your body that you shouldn't menstruate. A shorter period, if you're messing with your period like that, that's not normal. That's not healthy. Like, you have a cycle for a reason. there's a reason it is as long as it is. And yes, it varies between people based on different phases of your cycle being longer or shorter. But you need to have that regulation. And if you're going to try to mess with your cycle, and it's not always bad to need to regulate your cycle differently, but it needs to be done with supervision of a medical provider. Someone, like if you're going to be on a birth control, you need to be monitored to make sure that everything's okay. So there are safe ways to do it, but having a natural alternative medicine treatment that shortens your period is not a good thing. That's a bad sign. And that you need to look into why that's happening and what problems you have because of it.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, I can't even...
All right, let's see the next. Okay, so here's pictures. Here's a picture.
Oh my God.
That is dead tissue.
Is there a way to zoom in on that? I know it's gross.
I don't know if we want to zoom in on that.
Maybe we shouldn't. Yeah.
I'm not going to zoom in.
Just
That's nasty. Sorry it's late, but I couldn't resist waiting until the morning to let you know. I must say I was shocked. Scared the crap out of me, even though I expected it. I'm a true believer of this product. This is my first cleanse, and I'll let you know as I continue, but this is day 2 after taking the pearl out. This is day 2. This is still happening after day 2. I'm a curious person and definitely touched to see and stating its skin and mucus. It feels like that and thick. I deal with yeast. Often doctors told me I'm just super sensitive, so I'm prone to yeast. I wanted to purge all X's out of my yoni in spirits and emotions. The process alone as a step towards a better me is a great feeling. I definitely will have your products in my self-care routine. And notice the last word that is said here is faithfully, because faith is not evidence. This is a lot.
That's newsflash, the inside of your vagina is mucousy.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to have a thing go in and out of it comfortably.
Oh my God.
Nothing would
Brie. Eek.
I work at
So
Subway,
how about,
so I'm very familiar with that yeasty smell.
So does since the vagina is very prone to yeast infections, is it acceptable or is it not acceptable to refer to it as a bread oven?
Bread oven.
I feel like it's unacceptable.
It's not an oven, it's a proofer.
A bread proofer.
Yeah,
yes.
But I'm putting that in the unacceptable. But
absolutely unacceptable.
You could use it, but it's in the unacceptable category of, yeah.
So let me talk a little bit about yeast infections, because it's true that women, especially like cis women, trans men, AFAB, non-binary people who have vaginas are very prone to getting yeast infections. It's a species called Candida albicans, usually. And it's very common to get those. You can prevent it, at least like vaginal yeast infections are harder to prevent in certain circumstances. Like if you get a yeast infection of the vulva, that's probably because you're not cleaning super well in that area. You should clean the vulva because that does not clean itself. The vagina does clean itself. But just due to if you have dysregulation in your microbiome in your vagina, you can be prone to certain infections. But for people who are incredibly susceptible, some people who get these infections a lot, it's kind of concerning, and you definitely need to talk to a doctor, because Candida is what we call an opportunistic pathogen. So it's on everybody. Like everybody has Candida. But the problem is when Candida can grow too much and kind of take over the area and establish dominance of the environment. And that's it happens a lot in people who have who are immunocompromised. So if we see somebody in the clinic who's getting frequent Candida infections, yeah, it's thrush caretaker. So like if you have like in your mouth, if you get yeast infections in your mouth, that's definitely a concern for, it's called oral thrush. It's a concern for diabetes. We monitor people with diabetes for that, people with cancer, people with HIV, anything that suppresses your immune system. If we see that, and with vulvovaginal, it's a bit different because women are so prone to it anyway. But if it's more frequent than we would expect for someone who's AFAB, we might be concerned about an immunocompromised state, and we would need to look into that. So if you're having these yeast infections, it's possible that it's benign and you're just going to get rid of it, but you should go talk to your doctor about it, get an actual treatment, find out if your immune system is working properly. This is the one time I will talk about your immune system, and I'm not talking about it in like boost your immune system with plants. I'm talking about like make sure your T cells are working and make sure your body is doing its job, and you need a doctor for that. So there's my little soapbox about yeast infections. Do you have any thoughts on yeast infections?
I've had a yeast infection one time in my life that I can remember, and it was pretty much right after I became sexually active, for which, you know, of course.
Yeah.
And it sucked, but like I sure as hell would never have tried this to try to
Yeah.
no, that's, I mean, just looking at that, it's like if that came out of me, I would be terrified.
If that comes out of you, go see your doctor.
Yeah.
Because that's not normal. You should not be doing that.
And
it also, just think about the fact that like if you're shedding all of that mucosal lining, think about how raw your vagina is going to be after that.
Definitely shouldn't be having sex right after that.
Yeah, you're going to be prone to infection because your skin is your barrier to infection. So you're just exposing yourself further to sexually transmitted diseases. Possibly, I mean, if you get blood vessel exposure, like if you're sloughing off the skin, and let's say, like, you know, if you peel a sunburn too soon, you might bleed. Like if it's serious enough, it might bleed. So you're exposing vasculature, you're creating an open wound. And if you get bacteria into an open wound, you can get sepsis. And especially with things like gonorrhea is really bad if it disseminates. You can get a rash, you can get really severe consequences. And in fact, I learned in people who are sexually active that one of the more common causes of osteomyelitis is gonorrhea.
What's osteo?
Bone infections.
Oh.
Where you need to amputate something.
Wow.
And it's rare. It's rare to get osteomyelitis at all. But if you get sepsis from gonorrhea, it can cause osteomyelitis. So just like maybe don't damage your vaginal lining to where you'd be at risk for infections like that. Just don't do it. I'm going to move this picture off the screen now.
Yeah, I made the mistake of Googling. Don't.
The blood clots?
No, I Googled the Detox Pearls to see more pictures of
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
that
don't
comes-
Google it. Don't Google it.
Don't.
And I'm pretty sure there's more pictures on this website that we'll see.
Oh, great.
So we have a follow-up update. So I've been suffering with endometriosis since 2012, and I've tried everything in the world to help with the pains, inconveniences with this disease. After using your goddess Yoni steam and detox, oh, they want you to steam and detox.
Of course.
The cramps are bearable. My period isn't as long. I don't have as many blood clots, and he says he can tell a difference. Oh God, so she is having sex after this. So,
yeah, I'm sure it does feel tighter because there's no mucus lining making things smooth in there.
There's no lubrication. You're getting rid of your cells that do that. And you're also probably getting rid of your self-cleansing function of your vagina because you need your cells to produce the mucus and to produce vaginal fluid.
Also, notice how they've screenshotted somebody's Instagram comment or something like that as opposed to typing it out themselves. I think that's a way of them avoiding making medical claims.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, because if they can just be like, "Oh, we just screenshotted this. This wasn't we didn't say this.
This is what somebody said
to
about us. That's what they said the results were."
Yeah, like, this is a review. It's a product review.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely trying to dodge the practicing medicine without a license claim. So there's another picture, I think, but I don't know if this is of Discharge or if this is of the product. So if you're sensitive to these images, maybe look away. Yeah, no, this is a bad one.
Oof.
This is a bad one.
That looks like a whole period.
Yeah. So I completed my Detox Pearls, and literally this just came out of me. I can say I feel a difference in my yoni after doing the yoni steam, and then 2 weeks later, the Detox Pearls. My endometriosis hasn't been bothering me as much, and I've noticed that she is just as wet, tight. Thank you. I will definitely continue to use this product. Follow-up update. So I have, this is just a follow-up from that. Yeah. This is dangerous. Wow. So endometriosis, there seems to be a lot of confusion with it, and it's understandable because it's difficult to treat. Like, we don't know a lot about how to manage endometriosis well for everybody. And so people think that people think that it's not a thing doctors can handle, and they think that they need to handle it on their own. You should not. Endometriosis is a very dangerous condition. So the official definition of endometriosis is when you have uterine tissue that migrates to other places and grows outside of the uterus. So when you get like your period, of course, these tissues respond to estrogen and progesterone, and that's why you get a lot of these pains and symptoms associated. But it can also predispose you to like certain types of cancers. It can cause abnormal uterine bleeding. It needs to be worked up by a physician, because also you can't self-diagnose endometriosis. You need someone to diagnose it for you, because any cause of abnormal uterine bleeding is a cause to worry. Because it might be something benign like ovarian cysts. It might be like uterine fibroids, which are also benign, but it might be cancer. It might be an ectopic pregnancy if you're sexually active. It could be a number of things. So if you have bleeding that's not normal for you, you need to get help, because it might be endometriosis that they can't do a lot about yet. But you can't just say, let you think you have endometriosis and then not get it worked up.
Yeah, that's...
And don't do this. Don't do any of this if you have endometriosis.
Yeah, I'm sure fuck around and find out is the best way to treat endometriosis, right?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to get this picture off the screen. Oh, there's a video of someone purging their stuff. And then I think they're just, here's more pictures and videos. This is nasty. Oh, what do I mean by detox here? I kind of want to watch this. I figured out the audio thing. I think we can. Do you want to watch this? Do you want to see how to detox?
Just out of curiosity, I need to know, how long is this video?
1 minute and 47 seconds, I think.
Let's fucking do it. Let's do it.
Okay, let me make sure the audio.
Detox your ex.
Yeah, how to detox your ex. Here we go. I did share the audio this time, so this should work. Oh god, that's loud. Can you hear it?
Yep.
Okay. It's really loud though. I think maybe that's like, whoa, that felt like half a volume bar. That's weird. Okay.
All right, so what is detoxing your ex? So for me, when it comes
this is clearly an
to
ad.
your ex, it's really about having the energetic release of an ex-partner from your body. When you engage in sexual intercourse of any kind, you are exchanging energy. And a lot of women have come to me wondering about, what do I mean by detox your ex? What I mean is by releasing that person's energy from your vagina, from your womb area, from your whole energetic being. And so here at Goddess Detox, when women are specifically purchasing our Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearls, or even our Queen's Vaginal Steam, when I say detox your ex, I want them to speak their intention. They may say, I have the intention of removing so-and-so's, their name's energy from my vagina, from my womb area.
This is witchcraft.
Use the second pearl.
Yeah.
And before using the second pearl, they say that same intention. And that is what they're thinking about for the rest of the time that they're
using. This is a spell.
I have had many women comment as well as leave a review saying that they have had dreams of their exes getting up out of the apartment and packing their ish and walking out. And so, again, when I talk about Goddess Detox, talking about the physical, spiritual, and emotional cleansing, it's all about energy. And I can't lie about these reviews, okay? These women are telling me they're having dreams about their exes leaving. And so that's where the spiritual part comes in.
As their exes have all left.
Women are understanding their own personal power, that they have the power to remove these energies from their body. And so if you are
remove their energies,
breakup, or you do want to remove an ex-partner's energy from your body, I definitely recommend Goddess Detox and trying our Goddess Vaginal Detox Pearl.
Okay. Yeah, we got some neo-paganism in there.
I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with conceptually, like, basically casting a spell, but, like, that's what that is. That's fucking, like,
okay.
Like, you're like, I want my ex out of my body, and then you put a thing in a thing and stuff comes out. Like, the fact that you are told to think about it and, like, I don't know, what's the word, manifest it or whatever, it's like, okay, this is ridiculous.
So here's my question then. For people who, because I have no knowledge of witchcraft and how people use it, but when you're casting a spell, should you be damaging your vaginal lining? Should you be having that come out of your vagina?
I would think that bodily harm, I would hope that anybody practicing rituals of any kind are not causing bodily harm or causing stuff to come out of their body that doesn't normally. Like, if somebody was, like, trying to send me some sort of curse or blessing, and then whatever they did to me caused me to vomit, I'd be concerned.
Ox just sent me a picture, and I'm gonna...
Oh, no.
I'm gonna share it. Ox's Vajayjay cleaning kit.
Vajayjay, that's another good one. Oh. I mean...
Ajax and...
That'd probably be safer.
Probably safer than Detox Pearls. What if we made our own Detox Pearls with Ajax?
Let's not say we did. Ugh.
If I had any ethics at all, I would not do that.
Yeah, no. I mean,
all right. We ready for the last one? This is a bit more lighthearted.
Okay.
And
I don't know. It's been pretty fucking silly so far.
Yeah, but this is not anything that's going to hurt you. This is just kind of ridiculous.
Fair enough.
And we're gonna let this be the last one, just so we end on a light note. And I will share my screen and my audio so you can listen to this video, because this is a thing.
Okay.
All right. This is called Yoni De-Armoring, and I'm going to let her explain what is happening here.
Okay.
This is only 8 minutes. It should be fine.
Today about de-armoring. So for any of you who have followed me online for some time, you've maybe heard me mention de-armoring at some point. So I will go into more depth about that particular practice today and how to do this for yourself. So de-armoring, you may have heard it as cervical de-armoring or yoni de-armoring. There's a few different variations on this practice, but it is often used in the tantric sexual healing arts and like energetic.
The sexual healing arts.
So
turn it up a little bit. People are saying in the chat it's quiet.
De-armoring.
Can't hear it. Okay.
This is an intentional practice to release layers of armor or built up energy. And this is, particularly targeted at the yoni and the,
Can you hear it
organs
better? I don't know if I can even.
As an energy healer, when I tap in,
change
and
the volume.
Women, I almost always see stuck energy in the sacral chakra.
Okay.
So
well, we'll kind of
stuck energy.
Since it's kind of quiet, we can kind of recap what she's saying. So this concept is that you have energy built up in your chakras, especially your sacral chakra, and you put up walls. When you have energy that's not supposed to be there, you put up a wall to try to block yourself from this bad energy. And this is your armoring of your vagina.
Okay, so it's not a literal armor. It's a chakra armor.
It's a chakra armor from bad and to protect yourself from bad energies. And so the process she's talking about is that you need to remove this armoring, this wall that you put up, so that you can more, I don't know, something with your energies. Your energy will do better.
Yeah, something about energy.
And she'll talk a little bit more about it. I'm sorry it's quiet. She's very quiet. I have the volume all the way up on there, and I don't know if altering anything on my end changes it for you all, but we can try.
In the pelvic bowl, this is all about our reproductive organs and, is the seat of this vibrant, creative, pleasurable, sensual energy. And most of us have...
It's the seat of your sensual energy.
Or we've put up walls over time in order to protect us. Again, this part of the body is a very sensitive part and is a very vulnerable thing to let other people into that space. And so for any of us, probably most of us who have had, maybe less mindful or conscious or pleasurable sexual experiences in our life, we have put up walls of armor.
Yeah, so you put up armor walls when you have a bad sexual experience.
It definitely sits around the cervix, so we'll go through cervical de-armoring. But it also, I've noticed it kind of along the vaginal walls and even on the outside in the vulva as well. So you
sense the energy in your vulva.
Healing tool to
what is she doing to people?
Work with your body, work with your energy to release some of these, blockages.
You got to release the blockages.
Doing de-armoring practices can be very empowering. It can, like I said, release the stuck energy, help things to flow better. be able to help you be more embodied, help you have greater sexual pleasure, and just feel more at home in your body, at home in your
I don't know how I could not feel at
at
home in my body. It's where I am.
So like
It
said,
is
there's
me.
a few different types of
So,
de-armoring.
can this treat
cervical de-armoring,
gender
yoni
dysphoria?
de-armoring, and to me, they're kind of all combined.
Is it just my sacral chakra that I don't line up with?
At the time. So there is a particular tool that I like to use.
I'm having
for
chakra
de-armoring
dysphoria.
practice, and it is this.
Okay.
So this is just a little wand.
That's a bullet vibrator.
This one is made of black obsidian.
It's black obsidian,
I choose
though.
black obsidian because this is known as like the psychic vacuum cleaner.
The psychic vacuum cleaner
crystals.
of crystals.
This is extremely good at pulling out and extracting negative energy, stuck energy. So that's
it extracts negative energy.
You'll probably be able to find, these types of wands usually if like made out of like amethyst or rose quartz or jade or other.
So she's just sticking a rock up there.
Oh, wait for it.
Works for you.
Wait for it.
The black obsidian is my choice because it's so powerful.
She's going to talk about how you do this.
So basically, the process of de-armoring is a very slow, mindful, conscious healing practice. So de-armoring isn't necessarily about, pleasuring yourself or sexual pleasure or arousal. It's really about connecting with this part of the body and using your tool in order to target certain spots within your yoni, around your cervix, things like that, and sitting and breathing with it.
Is yaya appropriate?
Yaya is acceptable.
So this, to be honest, can be uncomfortable for some of us, especially as you get upwards inside the vagina near the cervix. Most of us are pretty
near the cervix,
numb in that area, or direct pressure to the cervix can even feel uncomfortable. This is important to go really slow, to honor your process, and to not do too much within one session. So like I said, you'll use a tool like this de-armoring wand. And this is, again, not necessarily about
it's a really skinny one.
Pleasure, and this is not
and
about
short, but
orgasm. This is about using this tool.
It's not about orgasm.
Just gently place pressure. So you'll choose an area. So whether you're sticking to the outside, like around the vulva, or you want to go in towards like the vaginal wall, you're not really going to be moving this around. You're going to pick a spot and like leave it there and breathe. You
got to let the vacuum cleaner do the vacuum.
Strange. It will probably feel strange at first. And this is very light pressure. Like I'm not pushing on this at all. I'm just kind of resting it there and holding it. And again, you can use either end. There's the, kind of wider end that's more gentle, diffuse type pressure, or the smaller end that's a little bit more targeted pressure. So you'll use your wand, place it in a spot.
So you pick a spot on your cervix and you push on it.
Tap into your intuition. As you're kind of gently feeling around for a spot, most of us will know, like, oh, we've hit something. And then we want
to hear that?
Yeah, no kidding.
We bring our attention, our awareness to that spot of our body. We use our breath.
It's not about pleasuring yourself. It's not.
I feel exactly the same way, but I'm getting a cervical exam.
Your yoni, wherever you are, with this breath, with this energy.
Like, oop.
Until you feel a release. And it could take a little while. And like I said, if you're...
Until you feel a release.
Especially at the beginning of de-armoring practice, definitely don't try to do too much within one session. I definitely recommend.
I mean, I have a specific spot that I know I would like to put something.
You can even do one and call it a day. This can be a very powerful healing tool, and it's all about honoring your body, honoring your process, especially if you have.
Hey, that's what I
I'll give her that
too.
I'll give her the
process.
Yeah, but I'm doing that like for my pleasure. My pleasure does matter.
So this is
in that
de-armoring, and like I said, sometimes you'll see it as cervical de-armoring or yoni de-armoring. It's really about the spots within that reproductive system that you're focusing.
You gotta find the spot with the most bad energy and suck it out.
Cervixes, is that a word? I don't know. work up and do some work with the cervix, just because it is so numb and
I don't know about numb.
Great potential for pleasure and embodiment.
I don't know if my cervix is numb. I don't know if pushing on the cervix is pleasurable.
Opinion, you have to start with practices like de-armoring in order to even get there. So
you have to
start. I think I'm going to start with the bean.
This black obsidian de-armoring wand.
Seems like a good place to start.
More about this, I do actually sell these in my shop. These are Reiki charged, ready to go.
They're Reiki charged.
You're ready to go.
Yo,
oh my god,
so she's legit. She knows what she's doing. She already had it Reiki
These
charged.
rocks are pre-charged.
And as always, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.
Yeah.
And until next time, guys, take care.
She's just selling shitty dildos.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're too small.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to talk about this because with this and with the Yoni eggs that Gwyneth Paltrow, I think she was the one selling those.
Fuck Gwyneth.
There's a problem. And yeah, somebody was saying that obsidian is just glass. It is glass, so it's not.
Oh, so it's a glass dildo. It's a fancy glass dildo.
Yeah, which that's actually a safer one.
Right,
but
because
she's
it's
talking
not
about
porous.
Yeah, she's talking about jade. Jade is incredibly porous. So you're getting bacteria and dirt and stuff, and you're shoving it in a very sensitive area, an area that will absorb material very readily. And like, this isn't a problem. Like, no, that absolutely is a problem. There's a reason why there are toys that are safe to do things like that with. And like, Rudy, you're probably a lot more familiar with regulation on that kind of stuff and what
like
goes
medical
into
grade silicone and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like what goes into approving products for sexual use and how do you know something is safe? Do you is it safe to just grab something and put it in your vagina that's not regulated?
No. I mean, I've seen people use things, well, not seen like with my own 2 eyes, but I've been aware of people using things as strange as like a cucumber.
Yeah, don't use a cucumber.
Which is like, oh,
don't.
So that living organic thing that's probably covered in bacteria of various types, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The reason that there's even a term called medical grade silicone is because you literally cannot stick anything in there. Yes, safe.
You got called out. You got called out by Brie.
For what? What did I get called out for? What did I do?
I don't know.
What did I do? What did I do? Okay. Listen. Just I've actually product reviewed a sex toy once. Like, the company reached out and was like, "Hey, we're gonna send you this for free if you will just make a little video reviewing it on Amazon." And that was the best gift. It was actually a mix of it was like my 2 other favorite sex toys had a baby and combined all the best stuff of both, and it was great. And but even with the stuff that is safe, you have to read the labels. There's certain types of lubrication that go with certain types of materials. There's some that are safe to use with water. There are some that aren't. Read the fucking labels. You have to keep them clean. You have to keep them in a dry, sanitary, sterile environment. And then they've got people selling rocks. Just stick this rock
and push on your cervix with it.
And push on your cervix. Go ahead and push on your cervix. It's nice and numb. I mean,
that hurts.
No.
I actually there was a student in my med school class, and he's great. Like, he tries very hard, and I appreciate it, because you at least like need to ask questions. Like, it's okay to ask a question instead of doing something stupid. But this guy he's Mormon. And we were doing a workshop. This was outside class hours, so I was impressed that he even showed up. I was really impressed because it was a workshop all about IUDs and how to place IUDs. So I was impressed that this Mormon came at all. So at least he's trying. He's trying to become more informed. But we were doing practice of transvaginal ultrasounds on this model. So it wasn't a real person. It was just like a mannequin. And you would use the wand, and it had the computer thing set up to where you could see what you would normally see on an ultrasound. And so it's a wand, and it goes in your vagina, and it's got like a little bulb, like probe on the end. And this guy was asking, like, so you just push on the cervix? And every person who was assigned female in that room just screams, no. Like, yeah, don't do it. Like,
do not do that.
Like, if you're a doctor and you were too rough like that, you will get kicked in the face like that. It's not comfortable. So I do also
one cervical exam. One, because I'm going on 23. I had my very first one, and it wasn't that bad, but my doctor also was. First of all, she is a woman, and I've been seeing her for a while, and I trust her, and so that made it significantly less awkward just to begin with. But it was still uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even in like the best of circumstances, that is so uncomfortable. I'm so glad you guys are practicing on a mannequin, because if if you've been practicing on a person, they would have also jumped up and gone, no, don't do that. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So I did want to, before we kind of wrap up, there's one comment earlier that I want to go into some detail on, especially while I have you here. With the lack of sex education, how does that how does the lack of education play into people's consumption of these like online materials and their willingness to do these extreme things with their bodies? Do you think that there's a connection there, and what can we do about it?
For one thing, the fact that they're all being marketed as self-care is definitely, pretty dangerous, because, people will look for new ways to chill out. And but as far as just sex ed goes, I learned almost everything that I know about my sexual education from the internet, which is, it wasn't just like I was just watching porns and that was my education. Like, I literally was just like, how does this work? Is this safe? What do you do if you want to do this? And I found some credible sources and some less, but man, there's so many things you're not supposed to put up there.
Do you think
the list of things you can put up there safely is very short?
Do you think if we had proper sex education, do you think that would prevent a lot of people from partaking in these activities?
Yeah, I would hope so. Some people are just going to do what they're going to do, but there's like this idea that when you're a teenager, or at least when I was a teenager, there was this kind of idea that if you you're wild, like if you use a lot of crazy stuff during sex, or if you just experiment putting things up there, you don't know, like just a lot of crazy stuff. There's that fucking scene in American Pie. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
people like to do crazy, weird, adventurous things with their genitalia. And if we actually stopped at some point and told these teenagers, you know, it all looks fun in porn, but there's actually a very select number of things that are safe to put in those areas, and you should know what those are. I feel like that would stop. It wouldn't stop the problem, but it would certainly help. Because then at the very least, when these things are being advertised to people, it would be contrary to the information they'd already had. And it might prompt further research, as opposed to just being like, that sounds fine. Or like, well, I don't know if this will help, but it certainly couldn't hurt, because they don't know that it can hurt, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good place to kind of leave off. Don't put weird things in your vagina. Don't just like go to the internet. And if weird things come out of your vagina, that's not normal for you. Go to a doctor. And any last words for the audience?
Go free yourself, but not with a obsidian wand.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you all for joining me today. Thank you everyone in the chat. I know we had some weird technical moments today, but things happen on live shows. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to my subscribers on both Twitch and on YouTube. Love you all. Thanks for joining me every week and being here for this crazy time. So see you all next time.
Bye.